Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. I woke up and I saw that this happened. An update about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Obviously, we all knew this was coming. People could have, there were people trying to cope with the fact that no, Gun has this, Gun is gonna keep working on it, blah, 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 blah. I said, I think last year when they transitioned from Sumo to Black Tower, Death behind they basically just helped sunset F13 when they got hit with the lawsuit, obviously. So let's read over the update, obviously. It's to be expected. When I saw update, I was like, yeah, this is GGZ. All right, so they go on a bunch of stuff of, this is the proudest thing to have been, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go straight to the point, obviously, because, this is just, I'll get into my thoughts about Gun and their management later. But let's just go over the main thing. With that being said, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre will not be receiving any further future content or support. This means that there will be no more DLC, balance updates, or bug fixes after our upcoming May patch. So we're going to get one more patch. You can still expect a few more patches in the future in order to transition towards peer-to-peer matchmaking. So they're shutting down their dedicated servers. The Chainsaw Massacre will still be playable and it's not being delisted from the storefronts. Not yet. I'm assuming when their license expires, that is going to happen, and the game is probably going to actually be sunsetted probably in like a year or two. They're just trying to, extend it and so they can mix up some more cash. Our community team will continue to interact with our players as we want to celebrate the Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, do you now? With all those who love this game just as much as we do. As a creative studio, it's imperative to communicate what we have seen this vision through to the natural creative end. I'll get into that in a second. We're a scrappy group of horror heads and artists continuously working on bringing cinematic experiences. I don't doubt that. I know you're all very big fans of horror. I'm not going to doubt that. We appreciate the folks who understand the vision we're bringing to the asymmetrical multiplayer horror space because, let's face it, it may not be for everyone. Yes. But those who get it, those who have widened their gaming circles to play the Chainsaw Massacre, those who have reveled in the terror, the horror, and beauty of this world with their friends, keep us motivated and ready to continue what we do best. Make your favorite horror games. We wouldn't want another game. We wouldn't want it another way. What's next for Gun? Stay tuned. Couple things. We've seen this vision through the natural creative end. Let's go back to the beginning, right? I think the game was a great concept. And when the game first came out, I was just happy to play that game when it first came out. Even before it officially came out, I played it back on the beta back in May, 2 years ago almost. So like 2 years ago in May 2023. It was an amazing experience. There were no perks, no metas, no nothing. It was just plain and simple, just fun, scary, and just chasing and escaping. It was great that way. There was a lot of things that I feel like they didn't listen to the community from the beginning, and they just went through whatever they thought was the best option for the game as devs. And obviously, you are the devs, you understand how devs work, like the developing a game works, and it's not easy work, I'm not saying that. But I do feel that there was a lot of balanced things and feedback that they didn't take because, in my opinion, Gun and the management, I'm not talking about the people below, I'm talking about management, high ups in that company. They're a little bit cocky. I'm not that's just my opinion. You can take it as you will. And obviously, if anybody at Gun is hearing that, I'm not saying that you are horrible people or that you don't know what you're doing, but I think you need to listen to your community, first of all. Second of all, community manager wise, Matt, we all know what happened there. I feel like you kind of created a riff and a very just weird taste in people's mouth when you are an asshole on social media to other people. I get it. There was a lot of people calling him names or whatever. That's not okay. But why are you going to go stoop down to the level of fucking trolls? Right? That's just so immature in my opinion. There's a couple things that obviously we can look back at TCM and Gun as a company making decisions that didn't make any sense, right? Like releasing pay-to-win characters, then leaving them extremely unbalanced for months at a time while people just kept buying those characters, specifically the victims and some of the family members as well too, and then sometimes nerfing them to the ground or adjusting them to the point where it just didn't make any sense. And it's just you can't leave a character like that for 3 months at a time with no balance updates, no changes, and then just go dark. and then come back, do a brief patch to fix some of those issues, and then create another plethora of issues, and then leave for another month or two. That's not how you operate a live service game. And if you don't have the budget or the capacity to do so, don't make live service games. Don't make asymmetrical horror games. And I'm not going to compare it to DVD. DVD is a completely different monster. Behavior is a massive company. Yes, they did start as an indie like dev studio being funded with grants and a very small budget, very scrappy team. Behavior is not that anymore. You can't compare Behavior to Gun or Elphonic, or well, actually Elphonic you kind of can. They kind of like a big company at this point, but you can't compare Gun to Behavior. What I can do is say that Gun could have had a better and different end to this, and I don't think you saw the vision through the natural creative end. You just ran out of gas. You didn't know what else to do, and I think you probably ran out of money as well too, which fair. I mean, it's expensive to run a live service game. It's not cheap. It's expensive. I think also the worst thing about all of this, like obviously it's awful that the game is just basically, I mean, and by all these purposes, they're just kind of abandoning the game. They're releasing one, what to say, after our upcoming May patch, right? And then you can expect a few more patches in the future to go to peer-to-peer matchmaking. So basically just high ping and unreliable servers, and then shit ton of hackers. And also, they're not going to be able to fix all the bugs that the game has. The game has bugs carried from since the release of the game back in 2023, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is not going to be... This is even worse than just F13 in terms of that. Because F13, obviously, they got hit by the lawsuit, so it's like kind of a little bit out of their control, but I do feel like that worked as an excuse and kind of like it'll pass for Gun in terms of like maybe like some of their poor management that they have. Another thing that a lot of people don't talk about is Gun is not a developer. Gun is a publisher. Yes, they do help with some of the day-to-day operations and help with some of the like overall like vision of the games, and I think they're great at doing that, like creating a template for it. I really do think that Guns maybe should just stay away from horror IPs as a whole. I don't even know who the hell will give them a horror IP again. If someone does, holy shit, like you're gonna be out of your mind. I think if they're gonna do something, they should create something fresh, new, and please just make a single player. You cannot handle a multiplayer online game. That's just not, I don't think that's your capacity. You're a small team. Again, as you said, you're a scrappy team. I don't think that works for a massive, large game with an IP like Saints the Massacre. I mean, I just wish that they would have just sold the game to someone else that could have handled that. Fuck, give it to Elphonic at this point. I will take Behavior at this point if they bought this. But I mean, they're not gonna do that. But I'm just saying, like, I would take any company over Gun for this. Also, read the room. Nobody cares about your next game. I'm sorry. Nobody cares about your next game. I don't even know. Like, I personally, unless I get their next game given to me for free, I am not buying it. That's just the thing. And maybe I'll prove myself wrong in 3-4 years when they come up with a new game. I don't know, with a license for, I don't know, Terrifier or something, whatever the hell they get in the future. And also at this point, we feel like we have seen the TCM Massacre fully realized. No, you just ran, I mean, sure. You feel that way because, I mean, you don't have anywhere else to go. You transition from Sumo to Black Tower, which I think, in my opinion, I don't want to say they did a worse job. I mean, again, they hired Sumo knowing that they didn't have experience for like asymmetrical live service games like that. They're primarily like like a racing car, like a car racing game, like developer primarily, like very small games like that, which is great. I mean, they did a great job with the game, like the design and everything, like high quality models, high quality animations. I mean, amazing like maps. Like, don't get me wrong, the game is a beautiful, beautiful game. There's that. From an indie studio, by the way. So I'm saying, like, there is, like, you know, pride in that. But I don't think you did enough for the game. I don't think you did enough for the franchise. I don't think you did enough for the IP. And that's what kind of pisses me off. And for you to say that you feel like you have fully realized it feels like a cop-out. Because you mismanaged the game and you mismanage basically just developing the game and actually getting a competent developer for after Sumo left, or after you fire Sumo, or whatever the case may be. The final thing I'm gonna say, which is I think probably the worst thing that probably they did, because I'm gonna they did not take this decision in the last couple weeks. They released the game on PlayStation Plus, right? The premium subscription included. It saw a spike in players, a spike in sales of DLCs, and then you announce a month or so, 2 months later or so. I don't even know when the PlayStation was. I think it was last month. Wasn't it like April? You announce now that the game is shutting down after people probably spent upwards of $50, $60 because their DLCs are $10 per character, plus expensive packs. If you're trying to buy everything, let me see how much it is if you were trying to buy everything on the Massacre. So if you're trying to buy everything, right? There's 50 DLCs. I mean, we're looking at around, what is it, like $150? I think it is. I think it's about $150 extra of just paying DLC. You're telling me that some people probably paid about $80 worth of DLCs. You probably knew that you were not gonna get the game past May. You can't tell me that you did a decision last minute. And if you did, holy shit, you're even worse than I thought you were. It just sucks. And honestly, I loved the game a lot and I played it a lot when it first came out, but it just kind of got to a point that it got stale as much as it did. It was not, I mean, it just got tiresome to go in for a new release. You pay $10, or in many cases I got it for free as a content creator key, and it just felt like, you know, you loaded up the game, you queued up trying to get the character you wanted to do, that was bugged, something else was bugged. Oh, sorry, we're not gonna get another patch for another couple weeks. We're a small team. Yes, you're a small team. Again, if you can't handle that, don't create an asymmetrical online multiplayer game. That's my 2 cents there. I guess we'll stay tuned for what Gun is up to next. If anybody at Gun is listening or you're watching a video, just know I'm not saying you're as individuals, I don't think you're pieces of shit. I'm just saying I think you need to reevaluate how you manage your company and restructure some of your approaches to things, and maybe listen to your community more when they give you feedback on stuff instead of arguing back and forth with them online. Because your community is the one that keeps your game alive. Your community are the people who play the game the most, who understand, who play it differently. And you can't force the game to be something that is not becoming from your community. You can't force it to be what you want it to be. You have to adjust to what the game has turned into. That's the last thing I'll say. All right. Hope you like this type of videos. If you want more of these, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll just make more, maybe once a week, or maybe so often whenever there's new news and stuff like that. I may start something where I go over like horror news, or like movies, games, and all those things, and break them down and whatnot. All right, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.